Wrestling Show. Robert Bryce. Tom Malloy. Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the PML Wrestling Show. It's the PML crew. Rich Lopez, Homeboy Malloy, producer Steve, making us look and sound as good as we can. First things first, though, we do have a guest coming up in a couple minutes, actually. That's why we're a little late, so we do apologize. But we got everything sorted out. We got the guest, Killian Mcmurphy, coming on. But before we get into that, Malloy, you sipping on anything? It's Austin Day, baby. It's 316.
Dude.
You're sipping on.
It's Stone Cold Steve Austin Day, brother. So I'm sipping on a Type A Pale Ale by Conshohocken Brewing Company. So toast to that, brother.
Yeah, cheers. I'm sipping on the vodka and root beer. I'm just keeping it real basic today. Steve, you sipping on anything?
Sticking with my Tequila Tuesday with the Margarita Boys.
I like that. Malloy, I'm surprised you're not sipping on Austin's beer, considering it is 316.
Yeah,
You don't have Steve Austin beer money?
I don't have Steve Austin money, man.
I got you.
So I had to settle with the Conshohocken, which is a good brewery out of Philly.
Oh, of course.
So,
I ain't mad at
totally
that.
recommend it. But dude,
right.
We're talking to the shooter.
Yeah, as I say, let's get right into it. We got our guest coming up. Well, now actually is Killian Mcmurphy, who just in our pre-production said he doesn't want us to be a shitty wrestling podcast and ask him where he got to start. And I told him,
Nobody cares.
I was like, short story long, I'm going to ask you that because I mean, as much as we've hung out at the sanctuary when we first started out, I really don't know that much about him because Moran was our first guest because he kind of like broke us in, if you want to call us broke us in. So I knew,
slapped the shit out of me. Yeah, he broke my
chest. So I knew some of his stuff, based on traveling. But I really don't know much about Killian. The one thing I will say about Killian, right, is I think I told him this once, and I don't know if he remembers, but I think about him like every other day because we had one match together. And, we're in the back, we're talking about stuff. He's like, all right, I'm just going to slap you to start off the match. Like, all right, cool. Like, that's cool. That's awesome. Whatever. Let's do it. Dude, he slapped the shit out of me. I chipped my tooth. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember that or not.
Oh, my God. I do remember that. That's why when this podcast was being advertised, what I said was Rich Lopez and Tom Malloy are going to hold me accountable for shitty things I did in 2018. I'm so sorry. I didn't even found out you, chipped your tooth on that slap until months and months and months later.
We're gonna have another match, I think, down the road. Obviously it never worked out, but I remember I was like, yo, if you do slap me again, can you try to use your fingers this time? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you decked the shit out of me, dude. It was insane. And then the other thing too, real quick before we get into the questions, is I believe, and you obviously would know this more than me, I was one of the first people you tried your clothesline on. I think you called the boy, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up too. That's so funny that you brought that up. Yeah, you were the first one. I think it was Tom in training. I kept hitting Tom with it over and over again in training. Yeah. But you were the first one on a show. Yeah. That I had done clotheslines before, but that's the first time it came out exactly how I wanted it, and now it's my finish. I think it was.
Is it good? I was going to ask you about that because you had a submission, right, originally?
Yeah, I still use the crossface chicken wing occasionally, but that's more of a setup going into the finish because there's just so many cool different ways to get out of that.
That's real cool. But yeah, I remember when you told me you were going to do the clothesline, you're like, yeah, I want to do this big ass clothesline. I'm like, all right, I've never done it before, not even in training, but I'm going to try to maybe do a flip off of it. But it came so quick, dude. I just sold the shit.
It looks so much better than a flip ever could. To me, flips look so phony.
I would say too choreographed, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
Exactly. And you know me, I'm not don't tell John Trosky. I'm sure he's gonna listen, but I'm not really about the choreograph.
I completely understand. I don't mind I don't mind in the back, before you do a match talking about stuff you want to do, but you don't want to make anything look too, like you said, choreographed to where it looks phony and not realistic. Yeah. So
that was, dude. Our match was one of my favorite matches that I had at Sanctuary. It was dope. It was super dope.
I always wanted to do a big ass program with you.
Yeah. We could have done so much cool shit, and we were planning on doing cool shit, but shit happened.
Yeah, plans change, man.
Plans definitely change.
But all right, so I gotta ask then, and then maybe we'll try to be a less shitty version of the podcast. And the other reason why I'm asking this too is because I started, I guess, age-wise, I feel like I started late. I started at 26 going into 27.
Yep.
Malloy's 2 years younger than me, right, Malloy?
I was 23 when I started.
I would have guessed just the opposite.
What,
No,
because of my hairline?
Dude, you see the gray hair, dude? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, you're starting to look like hell too. Okay. Me too, dude. Look at this big old gray streak I got.
Where? Oh, I do see it. Wow.
Oh.
That's what the miles on the road do, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Ugh.
That's the real life, not the gimmick life.
The guilt of chipping your tooth keeping me up at night.
I'll take it. Whatever it takes, baby. How many gray hair it takes to get on my level, Killian. Whatever. But,
yeah, you got a big old tuft right there. Holy shit.
Dude. That's actually, I mean, that's obviously the big hitter right there, but I got some on the sides and everything. I'm about to have a kid too, so I'm probably going to be fully gray. I'm 30 now. Probably by 31, dude, in November. I'm going to be fully gray.
I'll probably be fully bald by like 31, so.
Yeah, you're hanging on by a thread, dude. Literally. One hair
it's-
strand.
This is all one hair.
But so what age did you start at least? Just at least tell us that. You don't need to give us like the boring details if you don't want to, but
No, I'll give you guys the boring details because I like you guys. But
thanks, man.
If it's some rando and they ask me how I got my start, I'll poo them. I was in college, and I graduated college kind of early. I had like just turned 21 when I graduated, and I had got back into wrestling through like Daniel Bryan and some of the WWE shit that was uploaded to Netflix. And kind of the combination of that and the Daniel Bryan thing getting super hot. And from there, I just started like messaging local promoters, and then when I had was just about to turn 22 is when I had my like quote unquote tryout for wrestling school, where they just like beat me up and did blow up drills the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was 22 when I started.
So when we met you at the Sanctuary, let's just say probably 2017, I believe that's what it was. How many years were you in? Just 1 year?
Yeah. My first match.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
went up to a shitty little promotion up in Pennsylvania and worked.
Yeah, but there's some gold mines there, baby. You're missing.
There are some gold mines up there. I mean, it was pretty cool. I was like, from hanging out on those shitty shows in Pennsylvania, you find out about stuff like I got a Deshaun Pratt, or not a Deshaun Pratt seminar, a Sammy Callahan seminar. And this was probably 2017, like around the same time I had just started in Sanctuary. And that was at this promotion called Legacy. And from there, I got on that card and ended up working Deshaun Pratt on the next show long before I had any business working Deshaun Pratt. But there are some gold mines, and you meet some cool people working shitty shows in Pennsylvania.
Hey, bro, at a shitty show in Pennsylvania, I somehow ended up in the main event match. So it happens. It happens, dude.
Is that a Sanctuary show, or is that a different?
No. And it actually isn't a shitty promotion. They're good dudes at Excellence Pro Wrestling. I did a seminar for them, and the guy thought I was just hilarious. And he's like, you're the only one. He's like, you're the one that actually shows charisma and doesn't care about taking a bump. Like, wrestling's just like that's why I like talking to like all you guys now, because it's like I haven't talked to some of you guys in a couple of years, and it's just like all the avenues you'll go down and all the weird shit wrestling is, because it's literally like a circus. It's like, where's your traveling act going to take you next? And that's why, like, for me, like, especially doing this podcast, like, I know where you started. I know your background. We've had some fun times together, but we also want to see like where have you been, like what have you been up to? But one of my funniest times I had with you, dude, is we did like, it was like a dark match, because let's be realistic here. Rich Lopez was the wrestler out of the two of us, and I was just kind of like the gimmick guy. Like, I could work a gimmick.
You were the guy who had fight scenes in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wrestled a guy. Yeah, I wrestled a guy over a taco. It happens. But what was it? You were Tamagotchi Iron Sheik or something, and it was like a warm up match, and like because Trotsky's like, I like, oh, who's gonna wrestle Frank McCabe? No one's gonna wrestle Frank McCabe. And you're like, I'll do it. He's like, no, that ruins the whole thing that we're building you for. He's like, all right, I'll wear a mask. So like, you did like that Tom, and it was hilarious, the match itself. But the best is you try to do a springboard or something to that matter. Completely missed. It was terrible. You're just like, pin me. Pin me.
Yeah, the exact name of the character, and Carolina Jim found it too offensive to say, was Osama bin Laden.
Oh my god!
And I came out to the Sabu music.
That's clutch though. That's a hidden gem of a theme song right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so badass. It's so badass. And I how do you know one of my feet hit? The other one rolled off, but landed straight on my face, and then I said, "Pin me."
That's not
it
your
wasn't
skill.
hurt.
You're a technical
hilarious finish.
That was
yeah, dude. It was just like me as a wrestler. I think I just wrestled everyone who had a nationality gimmick. It was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Between that, the taco dude. I wonder who was the Jewish guy? What was his name again? He was a funny
Matthias
character.
Glass.
Yeah, does he still wrestle?
I think he still wrestles a little bit. I think he's at like ECPW.
That was like the funniest match I ever had in my life. But less about me, more about you.
Yeah, what is this, a Malloy podcast or what, dude?
Well,
no, I love the Frank McCabe retrospective.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
my
bad.
bad.
We're talking gimmicks. Frank McCabe podcast. My bad.
Yeah, this is just my world, and you guys just all are.
You're right, dude. You're
So,
the A-lister. My bad.
I'm not an A-lister, but you guys might be C-listers. So what have you been up to, man? What's Killian Mcmurphy doing now?
Well, the thing that I'm like really excited about is, well, there's a few things really. Number one's the Super 8. I mean, that's what I want to promote more than anything. I'm super excited to be in the Super 8. Long overdue. I'm going to complain about that more in detail later on an ECWA specific podcast. But
well, if you want to come on in like 2 more weeks to complain more, dude, whatever it takes to get you. So whenever you're done with vocalizing whatever you want to vocalize, you can come back on the show as many times as you want, man.
I might have to. I mean, I think they can't build a time machine and give 2018 and 2019 and 2020 Killian an opportunity like they should. Yeah. But if they figure it out, I'm sure I'm the first one on their list to put in that. But the Super 8's coming up. We're doing a bunch of dope stuff with Camp Leapfrog. We have our Pizza Party debut coming up, and of course, like the big goddamn cinematics that we keep putting out are probably the thing that I'm most excited about, which is a totally new way of looking at professional wrestling. Even like when you think of independent wrestling cinematic, it's far and beyond when it comes to production values and quality, I think, than even on the biggest wrestling streaming services, the stuff you'll find.
That's legit, man. Do you have a lot of input in that, or
Yeah, that's totally us. The 1CW's pretty much given me the Bulletproof Championship and said, create whatever content you want with this belt.
Was that you getting thrown in a snow pile the other day? I was watching a video.
Yeah. Kit Raff threw me on a snow pile. That's for one coming up in a few months. That's going to be the 1CW Bulletproof Fight Comp that we're going to do. It's going to be just like an old school World Star Fight Comp, but it just me getting the shit kicked out of me 50 times probably.
There you go. You can sell, dude. You're a good seller.
But I gotta say,
that's all I do.
It's pretty exciting to be in at Super 8 Cup because that's like, AJ Styles was in that and a lot of other big time guys when they first jumped onto the scene, brother. Got in there. So for any of the fans who watch our show, the millions and millions of podcast views we get a week, check out the Super 8 and actually the history of it, because it's super cool to see, for me, see guys that are friends of mine be in that now versus like, you see guys who's watching television every week. So serious note, check that out for sure.
100%. When did you get the invite for that?
25th anniversary for it. It was a while ago. It was like last year at this point, but it was only announced, maybe month and a half ago, something like that.
That's cool. And when is that again? Just to kind of give everybody
I think the first day of May 1st.
Man, I hope you win it, man.
You can get it on IWTV. I'm pretty sure it'll be streaming live on IWTV that night.
That's cool, man. Any who else is in the tournament so everybody can listen?
A good professional wrestler, Bam Sullivan, Timmy Lou Retton, Ricky Morton, who I've already beat.
Ooh, yeah, I've never seen that match.
Yep, knocked him out cold, all by my sweet little self.
You chip his tooth too, or no?
I might have. I don't know. I think he's got dentures.
Did he take your
might be a
finger in
little
the match?
stronger.
Did he take your fingers in the match and flip you off?
Yeah, he did. He
So
did. He flipped off my manager that I had, which
Yeah.
wasn't Dustin at the time. It was Doug, but pretty much an old version of Dustin. Who else is in there? A lot of talented people. Mike Law is in there. Matt Mikowski,
Okay.
or as I like to call him, Bellator's Matt Mikowski.
That's cool, man.
I'll chip his tooth too.
Do whatever you gotta do, man. Just to, the more notorious that they are, puts me in that class. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to be I just want to be up there with the greats of opponents against Killian that got their tooth chipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope to chip so many teeth that I could eventually build a whole new mouth out of all the teeth.
That's amazing. But yeah, Super 8, May 1st. Definitely check that out, Killian. I hope you actually, hope you at least go far. Hopefully you do win the whole thing. I
hope I go far too, because I'm gonna come out to a different Sonic the Hedgehog song every single round.
Oh yeah, you did want to talk about Sonic, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know much about Sonic. I did see the movie because my boy Jim Carrey's in it. Did you see the
he
movie?
was great in that.
I agree. Did you like it?
I did like it. If you're not a Sonic fan, to me, the reason to see that movie is Jim Carrey. Like he's in full like Jim Carrey mode.
He is, especially when he starts dancing.
Yeah, that. I'm pretty sure they just turned the camera on when he happened to be dancing.
Yeah, actually, I saw that list. There's a list that was actually improv. I was watching like a top 10 like improvisational Jim Carrey thing on a movie. That was improv, which is crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, he's so talented, and who better for like the '90s villain?
Yeah, completely
agree. Honestly,
he was better as the Grinch, but whatever.
Dude, he was a very good Grinch.
I'll take it at the Grinch. I mean, my favorite Jim Carrey is definitely Ace Ventura. I just grew up. I could probably memorize that whole movie. And then Dumb and Dumber was actually on this weekend, so.
That's actually my next gimmick. I'm going to be Ace
You're just
Malloy.
going to be Ace Ventura.
Yeah, and I have a little slick back hair.
I say the only thing is you don't have the hair for it, boy.
I like The Mask. Liar, Liar's a great.
Oh, dude, The Mask is great.
Yeah. There's some Carry vehicles out there. You know what's badass? The Truman Show.
Never saw it, dude, but I heard so many great things about it.
Oh, you got to watch that. That might be his like best performance.
That's a more serious movie too, or no?
Yeah. Basically, a guy who's just like been on a TV show his entire life. Everything around him is like catered to like be this TV show, and it's crazy how it's just more relevant as time goes on.
Yeah. I've heard so many good things about that, especially because like I think that's the one movie probably that got him into that serious lane. I guess. I mean, I know he's not always done serious movies, but like I'm sure I remember seeing like that's the movie that like a lot of people were like, "Whoa, we could actually act." It's not like just comedy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a role that he was really made for, like the cartooniness, but at the same time, like the intensity of it he's just brilliant at it.
That's legit. And then let's do one more topic outside of the wrestling thing to make this non 100% wrestling. So I saw your thing on your IG story. Real quick, what's your social media? If you want to plug that, do you want to plug that at all?
Shooter KM on Twitter, at Killian Mcmurphy on Instagram.
All right. So on your at Killian Mcmurphy on Instagram, I saw your story and you posted, what was it, Disney on the Rocks podcast, if I'm not mistaken?
I got a couple friends that do a weekly podcast called Disney on the Rocks where they just get shit hammered and talk about Disney movies, which like to me that's absolutely the content that I was made for. Like I could go on and on. Over quarantine I've watched every single Pixar and every single Disney movie. And I'm thinking about doing a ranking here myself, probably as a bulletproof title defense. Killian Mcmurphy versus Walt Disney for the 1CW Bulletproof Championship.
I think you'd win, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
Easily.
But on the other hand, I did have to sit through both of the Planes movies. So am I really a winner? And you know who the star of the Planes films are?
Who?
Dane Cook.
Is he?
Dane Cook is the lead in both of the Planes films.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. Dane Cook in the mid 2000s, his I think it was Retaliation and Rough Around the Edge. No, the one before that.
Circle.
Well, nah, maybe it was. What was his first one?
Like 2005,
It was the one before Retaliation.
2006.
It's like a white cover, and I think his face is like black. Like it's like a black and white like face on a white cover. I could be completely wrong.
The
But
one
anyway,
where
like
atheist
the first
bit.
two. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Is that the one where you did the atheist bit, or was that Vicious Circle?
No, that might have been it. I forget. But I remember the first two comedy albums weren't bad. After that, I kind of fell off the Dane Cook train. But
he got like two Dane Cookie, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, 100%. He believed the gimmick, dude. That's what it was.
Yeah, he became a cartoon caricature of himself.
Exactly. But I don't know if you could even go back on your Instagram story or whatever, but I was going to ask you on that Disney thing, who's your final four? Because, I mean, it is March Madness. That's obviously why the bracket was posted. I wanted to see or you could even give me your favorite Disney movie, whatever one it was. I know you just said you watched all of them, so.
I don't remember the brackets, but I can definitely give you like my top.
Give me the Mount Rushmore Disney movies.
So, God, this is tough. I'm gonna go just because I feel like it's fair. I'm gonna go 2 Pixar and 2 Disney.
There you go. I'll take it.
Toy Story. I'm gonna put the whole series up there, even though it's probably cheating.
It's so cheating, but I'll give it to you because you already asked.
I'm gonna put the whole Toy Story series because they're all just like head and shoulders better than like any other animated films. Honestly, like to me, 4 is the weakest, and 4 is still like a brilliant movie.
I agree.
Like 4, 2, and then 1 and 3. Like I don't know which one is better because 3 is.
It should have ended at 3, honestly. I know it's a money thing for 4, but I just thought 3 was a perfect ending.
Yeah, but dude, to me, 4 wasn't bad though. Like
no, 4
had a lot of funny moments.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's tough because it was such a good like finale 3, and at the same time, they did do a solid job of continuing it. I don't want to see a 5.
Real quick, Killian, we got Steve coming in here. Steve, the producer, wants to come in here.
Dane Cook, it was harmful if swallowed.
Bang, that's right. Thank you. Did you research that or did you know that?
I'll never tell.
All right, well, anyway, I'm going to take Steve's word for it. He knew off the top of his head. He just waited like minutes to let me know. Those are the 2, harmful if swallowed and then Retaliation. They're my 2.
Yeah. No, those are funny albums. Those are funnier than Vicious Circle. Vicious Circle's got the breaking and entering bit though, which is really funny.
True. Very true.
But okay, so the Toy Story series. For the other Pixar movie, I'm gonna say this, and I'm probably gonna disagree with it when I wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna say, "Why did I say that? Why did I say
Right,
that?"
you just message us and we'll try to edit it somehow.
We'll redact
pull it down and we'll do it again.
We'll shut down the whole show for at least 3 months so nobody even hears it, and then we'll just re-upload. We'll have you back on.
Perfect. I'm gonna go with Soul, which just came out.
Oh, dude, no, that's a legit movie, man. That's good. That's some good shit.
Out this past Christmas, but Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx, dude, it was a fantastic, brilliant film, and like so thought provoking and so adult while at the same time not being like stupid and edgy. Like just a fantastic film. You really liked it too?
I loved it. I mean, I'm also a huge Jamie Foxx fan though, so like I was going in. I'm not gonna lie, I was going in kind of biased, but to me, honestly, I thought it was. Like, obviously, the presentations, obviously, with the kids, with the colors and stuff like this. I mean, I'm not really, like, a movie buff, but just hear me out. I thought the plot was a little too deep for kids.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? So, obviously, for our age and maybe some high schoolers, like, this is, like, a perfect Disney movie. Right. But obviously, with the color scheme and, like some of the characters, I feel like that was built for the kids, like, the way they looked. But I thought the plot and the presentation was for, like, high schoolers and above, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, completely. Yeah. And I'm an adult with the brain of a child, so I this is why I'm the perfect audience for it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Coco? That was a good one.
Coco was very very good.
That's like one of my top ones. That Coco movie.
Coco's very good. Yeah.
I don't like Coco as much as everybody else, and Dustin,
Are you faded out, Killian? I can't hear you. Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh no. Oh
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I'm good now. I'm good. Yeah, go ahead. You said Dustin.
Yeah, my manager Dustin gets on me for not liking Coco as much as everybody else, but I do really like Coco.
The thing with Coco, right, is like it's so good, but there's so many other movies that are better. Does that make any sense?
But I can't hear you guys for some reason. Let me try to pop out and then pop back in.
All right, you can pop back out, pop back in. In the meantime, this is an aside of. Are you good?
Yep, I can hear you now. Perfect.
All right, cool. I was gonna say the thing with Coco, right, is like it's such a good movie, but there's so many other movies that are better.
Yeah, I agree with that, and there's a lot of movies, and especially now that Soul's out, that kind of do a lot of the themes of Coco, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to watch that movie. I never saw it yet.
Soul, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fairly new, so.
It's absurd that was free and they had to pay for Mulan on Disney Plus.
You have to pay for that new one too, right? I don't know if that's Disney though. Never mind, that might not be Disney. That Raya movie or whatever it's called.
Yeah, no, that's Disney too, and you have to pay for that. I saw that, and it's not nearly as good as Soul. It's like okay, but of all the movies we've talked, pales in comparison.
That's crazy. All right, what are the two Disneys?
I know I said they'd be Disney, but I lied. My number one period is Ratatouille.
Dude, I wonder if I don't know where my fiance's at. I told her, I don't know why I waited so long to watch Ratatouille.
Dude, yeah, same.
I know it's a wrestling podcast, but we gotta talk about some Ratatouille right now.
Dude, it's gonna be the most episode my wife ever listens to because it's going to be about Disney and not about wrestling. So, hey, we're getting all the views this week.
Same with Christine, dude. She's like, well, I don't care about wrestling, but we're bringing up Disney. Dude, Ratatouille, I told her, I was like, I want to be a chef now and kind of like mice more.
Yeah, anybody can cook. That movie gets me so, like, hype. Like, I feel like that's the perfect, like, artist movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it really hits all those notes of, like, a struggling artist. And like trying to express yourself and having something you love and feeling like it's like just out of grasp. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful story. That's number one to me. Absolutely fantastic movie.
It's definitely a top 3 movie for me. I don't know if it's number 1 because I'm so grown up on Lion King and Aladdin, but Ratatouille is up there for me.
Yeah, for sure. And then my last one, it's tough because it's either Lion King or Little Mermaid.
Oh, my Mermaid is good.
I think I got to go with the Lion King.
Yeah, smart move.
Yeah, but
maybe like the strand of like Malloy's hair.
Yeah, exactly. But like just by naming 4, we're missing out on so many good movies. Like I didn't say Moana. Moana is like a brilliant, brilliant film. Not just because The Rock's in it, but like just the story of it and the presentation and the animation. It's absolutely beautiful. The songs slap. Both the Frozen movies, the songs slap.
That's one of the issues I have with that bracket, dude. Frozen's not ranked number 1.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Frozen's probably my favorite animated movie besides The Lion King and Aladdin. Yeah. For me, I think it's Frozen, then Aladdin, then The Lion King.
Yeah. Frozen's another one that gets me hyped up. Aladdin, that just soundtrack absolutely slaps. And
did you like the live action movies of like the reenactments?
I haven't watched a single one yet.
Dude,
I'm scared to.
Gotta watch them. Let me know. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous going into the Aladdin because I'm such an Aladdin fan, and I was really nervous because like who's gonna beat Rob Williams, right? Like that's
right.
But I thought Will Smith did pretty good for live action. I mean, that's just me.
That's what I've heard. If you kind of like temper your expectations and know that it's not Robin Williams, like you'll enjoy the film.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about that bracket is, and I'm so stoked we're not talking about wrestling. Like this is exactly what I want out of podcasts.
I was gonna say, I just want to point out we are a wrestling show, but Killian wanted to do this. So I'm like, I'll bring it up.
If you're a Killian fan, this is the Killian show. Ratatouille is a 12 seed. which is absolutely absurd.
Dude, so I didn't even know that, so I'm really pissed off about that right now.
Yeah.
But the one that, and I'm not even going to tell, I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I didn't even watch Frozen's.
Are you
But-
serious?
Watch
That's
the
sad.
first one.
My fiance's been trying to make me for years, dude. But like, whenever we talk Disney, I'm just like, yo, can we just watch like Toy Stories or Cars or like something? Like, I love Pixar, and yes, I know Frozen's a Pixar, but I mean, like, can we do something that's not like I don't know. I feel like Frozen. I don't know. Maybe just all the merchandise that I see. I'm just like, I don't want to see it.
It's very hyped up, but I will say, the second one's not worth a watch. Just watch the first one, but the first one's better than any of the Cars movies.
Really?
Yeah.
How about is it better than Monsters Inc?
I watched.
That's my number. That's my number 5 right there.
Cars 2 is the worst one. Cars 2 is an atrocious movie, and I never even want to think about it again for the rest of my life.
How about Cars 1 and 3 then?
Cars 3 is better than Cars 1. Here's the problem, and this is why the Cars universe is fundamentally flawed. And with Toy Story, the whole plot revolves around them being toys, right? They want to be played with. One of them disappears, and it hurts, the little boy, little girl's feelings, blah, 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 blah. Ratatouille, the whole plot revolves around him being a rat. He can't be in the kitchen because he's a rat, blah, 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 blah. There's no reason why the cars in Cars need to be cars. You could do that plot with anybody. And I know it's a race, but anything can race. They do some cool world building shit, like how they eat gas and all that like cool stuff, and the big traffic cones that they sleep in. Like they do some cool, like little cool world building stuff, but in reality, plot wise, especially for Cars 1, really all the Cars movies, there's no reason for them to be cars.
Do you think it's more like a rise and fall of a person?
What'd you say?
Sorry, do you think it's more of like a rise and a fall of somebody like Lightning McQueen?
Yeah, I mean they're all they are Rocky movies.
Yeah, there you go.
The second one's like a shitty wannabe James Bond movie starring Larry the Cable Guy, and that's just as bad as it sounds. But 1 and 3 are like just decent little sports films. Like I put them on the same level as like a Rocky 3 or a Rocky Balboa, like kind of in the middle sports movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not even Rocky 1 or 4. That's crazy.
No. Neither of the Cars movies are as good as Rocky 1 or 4.
That's crazy.
3 is kind of close to Rocky 4, but not really.
And here's the other. All right, so let me bring up another Disney movie, and then maybe we could transition into I don't know something else. But
it's all character based, man.
Well, of course, it's all merchandising and character based, like whatever. But how about Monsters Inc., dude? Because I'm a huge Monsters Inc.
Love Monsters.
I always think like the
Pixar
princesses are like merchandise. Like you're never gonna think of like a Ratatouille, which I think is like I said, like that's probably like my 3rd or 4th favorite. I think Monsters Inc. is up there with mine for me.
Yeah, no, Monsters Inc. is an absolutely brilliant film. It's like the twist villain at the end of it is the first like badass twist villain where you're like, whoa, like a lot of these Zootopias and Frozens are doing twist villains now, and like it all started with The Incredibles.
Yeah.
I absolutely, or not The Incredibles, I'm sorry, Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
I just had The Incredibles because I was going to say that's another one that's like in that same era. Did you guys watch Monsters University?
I did. I like Monsters Inc. a little bit more, but
yeah, as far as the sequels go, I probably like it maybe the most.
Yeah.
Like, because Finding Dory, I think, was like, eh.
Yeah.
The Incredibles.
That's the one that, to me, it hurts Finding Nemo because of the sequel. That makes sense.
Yeah, Finding Dory was definitely the weakest. And then probably that one. And then The Incredibles 2 was, to me, kind of solid, but at the same time, a little snoozy. I'm just not big on the Pixar sequels.
Yeah, am I really? I mean, and I think it's because we're all spoiled with Toy Story. Like, we expect every other one to be like, grand slams. You know what I mean? That's never. Even you get that with Marvel and stuff like that. You're not always gonna have a home run, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But
right, and you never know what's going on like behind the scenes too, because like you look at, it's so funny. All you have to do is watch that. There's a documentary called Into the Unknown, which is the making of Frozen 2. and all you have to do is watch it for half an episode, and you realize how much of a mess production was and why that plot doesn't make any sense. But then on the other hand, you got movies that are like The Emperor's New Groove or Toy Story 2, where production was an absolute mess, and they came out to be some of the greatest films like that have ever existed, especially Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah.
On the Toy Story 2, production was so rushed that somebody left one of their kids in their car. And they had like the labor rules at Disney. It's fucking insane. Sorry. There it
You're
is.
good. You're good.
I think Malloy dropped the F word like 2 weeks ago. We're good. As long as we don't do like every, as long as we don't do like Steve Austin like every 3 minutes.
What?
Yeah. I mean, we can do one a show, 3 a show, but anything after that's fine. I mean, we're good. You're good.
I completely. Oh yeah. And so what happened was somebody completely wiped out like most of the Toy Story master footage by accident, like right in the middle of production. And like they were struggling, and luckily somebody had a backup, or else they wouldn't have made the holiday season or whenever they were trying to get it out. It's an insane story. I can't do it justice. Same with The Emperor's New Groove.
So what's that called? Into the Unknown?
Into the Unknown is the one for Frozen 2.
Oh, gotcha.
There's one for Emperor's New Groove that's like so intense it's not even on Disney Plus, and it's not really available anywhere. I saw it on YouTube once, but it's not on YouTube anymore. It's called The Sweatbox, and it goes over how The Emperor's New Groove was made. And it used to be a musical with Yzma had her own song, who's Eartha Kitt, which the song was absolutely brilliant. It would be up there with like Poor Unfortunate Souls and Be Prepared with like best Disney villain songs of all times if it came out. Sting was like in charge of the music originally. And then all this crazy stuff happened. It's just a wild story. Again, I can't do it justice, but
of course, it would be probably a headache to work for like corporations like Disney and stuff like that because the expectations are so high all the time.
Oh yeah, and that's what that movie pretty much is about. And the Sweatbox, which is the Emperor's New Groove documentary, is just how intense like those reworks that you get are, and how much goes into changing anything in animation.
Yeah,
absolutely absurd. But I used to watch that back when it was on YouTube, when I was feeling like stressed out and feeling like even uninspired, and like it's just very, very for lack of a better word, inspiring, and like hypes me up how little time they had and how much crunch they were under, and how they just put out this absolute banger of a film.
Yeah, that could be a good tie-in actually to my question. I was gonna say, do you ever feel uninspired with like wrestling?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why I don't want to get on here and be like, "How'd you get your start?"
No, of course.
What'd you do next? Like, it can be exhausting putting your boots on. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys have been.
Your boots.
What'd you say?
Or if someone steals your boots.
Or if Trajan steals my boots. God, I forgot about that. I gotta get him back.
Your boot?
Yeah, Trajan stole my boots one time and hid them in a.
I remember now. No, I hit him. When you said hit him, I thought somebody actually like stole them.
No, I thought somebody had stolen them, but he got so shit hammered the night before that he didn't wake up in time for me to like get them before my next booking, like find where he had hid them before my next booking. So I had to work in wrestling shoes. I was so mad.
That's lucky though. You got to fit the gimmick still.
Yeah, true. Little long, stupid socks. I look like such a dummy. God.
And then
yeah,
since
I look the absolute worst.
That's so funny. Do you ever watch like Disney, whether you're looking at a protagonist or antagonist, and you're like, oh, that'd be kind of a good character or like a good slogan to kind of incorporate into your character?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely draw from Disney and Pixar movies all the time. This one isn't a Disney or Pixar movie, but lately I've been really inspired by the animated film Cats Don't Dance, which is basically like a children's version of BoJack Horseman. It's like about how this cat like goes to Hollywood and wants to make it big, and this child star is trying to bring him down and not let his friends get opportunities because she's the head honcho and doesn't want her star to be outshined, and it's just a lot of parallels like in the obviously the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And there's this villain song called Big and Loud, which there's a line in there that's you don't have to be good, you just have to be big and loud. And like I've been saying that, like that's been my mantra lately, and I like even have it in my Instagram and my Twitter profile right now, like it's the first thing in there. So like I draw from those movies. I draw from those movies more than I draw from professional wrestling.
That actually makes sense though, because like I feel like there's more depth with those kind of characters, even in the short 2 hours that you you get to see them. I feel like.
Yeah, and you just don't want to do what anybody else is doing, and I know nobody.
Yeah.
3 a.m. and watching every Cars movie.
So, are you still a heel?
Yeah. I'm a big Catalyst wrestling, but other than that, I'm a heel everywhere.
Have you ever how many times have you worked face, man? Because I feel like you're such a good heel. I feel like it's very limited the amount of times you work that good guy.
I would say I have been a babyface maybe 35%, 30 to 35% of my matches, like probably more than you would expect.
I was gonna say if I was a betting man, I would have said like 15% maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe debuts because they would be like, oh man, he's a better heel.
Right. That's what I'm actually not like a bad babyface. It took me a lot longer to learn how to work babyface. I had to be surrounded by good baby faces and kind of study them and draw inspiration from them to kind of incorporate into my stuff. But places like Catalyst and Pro Wrestling Magic for the longest time, up until about last year, I was babyface at.
Yeah.
Not here in Delaware, but in Delaware, where I started professional wrestling, I was babyface a lot for a long time.
Really? I can't see a Killian being a face.
I'll send you some face killing stuff. It's not bad. I'm just my normal self. Like I'm like fourth wall breaky. Like actually, speaking of Disney, last time I was babyface, I just recited the entirety of the Pixar theory during my match.
What's Pixar theory? What's that?
It's like the theory that connects all the Pixar films together.
Yes.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So you're like the genius, but just the Pixar genius.
Yeah, I am. That's my real life gimmick.
The real life gimmick.
Yeah, I'm the Pixar genius.
There's a podcast where Lanny Paffo's on with some Mark, and he's just doing like soliloquies the whole time, and literally just calling him a fat bastard for smoking. It's hilarious, and just like saying like just different like soliloquies and different things. It's hilarious. So yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
He like doesn't like smoking, right?
No, and he pretty much like told me he was gonna die and everything. It was
big fitness guy.
Unbelievable. So, last wrestling question, and then we'll leave it at that. And then we'll probably either send you off, or if you want to, plug anything else or talk at Disney one more time, you can do that. But this is actually a legit question, like from a wrestling, I guess, nerd, if you want to call me that. Do you watch any matches that you study from, or is there any like a specific match that got you into wrestling, or at least piqued your interest? Just because I always, for me, I always watch like Austin Bret Hart WrestleMania 13. Like I just storytelling for that, and so I always just want to know I always want to know a wrestler or a wrestling match that like piqued somebody's interest. Because for me, I feel like I can relate to anybody that watched it, if that makes any sense.
Well, what got me, I kind of went through like phases with my fandom, which I think anybody does. Like during a period in elementary school, before that, skipped it in middle school, or a little bit in middle school, skipped it in high school, blah, blah, blah. But what got me, what I was talking about earlier when I was like, an adult and feeling like I could do this, what got me to watch Raw every week again was the Daniel Bryan Bray Wyatt cage match on Raw, where he was up there doing the yes thing.
Yes. That was huge.
That's what pulled me back in, really.
And then
that beard's a little Daniel Bryan-esque too, by the way.
And dude, it's getting so long. I just don't give a shit about a thing anymore, dude.
And you're letting the gray go with it too?
Letting the gray go with it. Distinguished. That's what the ladies tell me. It's distinguished.
Right. That is right. Molly, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say one last question for me before you go is besides sharing the ring with Frank McCabe and chipping Rich Lopez's tooth, what is your greatest wrestling memory to date? It could be a war story, it could be something on the road, it could be something in the ring for that matter. What is it?
Right now, like I've been traveling a lot with like Miles, Dustin, Nelson, that whole crew, the goons, the boys, the fellas, whatever you want to call us. But honestly, and it sounds corny, but every single time, like I get to travel and work with those guys, like it is so cool to be able to work with your friends. And you guys know that, like, there's no feeling like this is my buddy that we spend so much time outside of wrestling with and have such a personal connection with, doing what we love and expressing ourselves through this art form that we're both immensely talented at. It's an incredible feeling. So the one in particular, 911 from ECW came back, his first booking since ECW. Came back to interrupt a Killian Mcmurphy match and chokeslam Miles and chokeslam Dustin off the second. And when I got back, I just hugged Dustin and told him how much he belonged and like how proud of him I was. And like that moment in particular, like really stands out to me because that's cool.
Awesome,
like,
man.
Like 911 coming back to like chokeslam me and my buddies, like that's incredible. That's crazy. His last book was for Paul Heyman.
No, 100%. That's awesome, dude. And then, all right, we're probably gonna wrap this up because we got a couple more minutes. But I'll just do this so we don't end on a wrestling note. Best Disney or Pixar villain. So I literally, it's always hard to say like best or Mount Rushmore because then you have to think about it because like you said, like if you name 4, you're leaving off like 100, and then you feel like you're disrespecting the 100. But
and now you're telling me to just pick one.
All right.
Who's
3? I know Disney.
Who's the scariest and the most intense?
It could be.
Who's the guy from Hunchback? What's that villain's name?
I have no idea. I watched the movie. I was like, young Rich Lopez was probably like 7 years old, dude. I don't remember.
Yeah, it is. I'm brain locking on his name. It's gonna eat me up. I'm gonna look it up right after this.
Isn't it Monsignor Claude Farallo?
Yeah.
Are you reading that, Malloy?
Yeah, I'm reading that off my computer.
Frollo.
Monsignor Claude Frollo.
Frollo.
Yeah, Froyo. Delicious Froyo.
That is good shit.
But he's the most terrifying. I mean, he's got that Hellfire song, which is like super intense and absolutely slaps. So definitely him or Scar.
Scar, if to me,
I'm a huge Scar and Jafar guy.
Ursula, Hans from Frozen, and I mean, spoiler alert. I don't want to ruin it for you, Rich.
Oh no, you're good, baby. I watched Disney on Ice, dude. I think that's another reason why I avoided watching the movie because Disney on Ice kind of summarizes it.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah,
dude. My favorite person from Frozen is the guy who's that sells the stuff, and he's like, "Winter sale, half off."
Yes. You know what I like about him is that he's gay. Did you ever notice that about? He's like, there's my family, and he like is with his family, and he's like has a husband.
Good for him, because he's my favorite character.
I like saw that, and I like looked at my roommate originally. I was like, wait, rewind that. I was like, he's got a husband. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
I think that'll be like the next installment. I think in Disney to go that kind of route.
Yeah, I definitely think that Disney needs more queer representation for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's hitting everything else. It's cool that they're getting, that I would say the African American situation, Latino. They've done, women empowerment. I think that's definitely the next thing for sure.
First of all, by the way, you get that a lot in the live action movies.
Yeah.
Like in Aladdin with Jasmine and then Mulan. Like that's crazy women empowerment.
And it was crazy women empowerment like in the mid to 1990s where everyone was still like, be a man.
Correct.
Right. So that's to me that's really cool. How they always were ahead of the times. So
with the queer representation thing, all the queer coding that they've done with their villains, which I don't know if you guys know what queer coding is, but it's putting like little elements of queer culture into somebody. And a lot of the times they'll queer code their villains, like Scar's very effeminate, for example. the Pocahontas villain is very effeminate, for example. Like, they've done a lot of queer coding with their villains, so they got some catching up to do.
Of course.
Well, even the shrimp or whatever the hell he is from that movie with the rocks in. What's
Moana?
Yeah, Moana. Yeah, you know the villain.
The shiny guy.
I'm so shiny.
Yeah, he's a little effeminate too. That's true.
That's legit. But Killian, man, I mean, it was a pleasure talking to you. It's been about a couple of years, I think.
Yeah. Yep. A couple of
So
years. Long
nice.
time. I think I messaged Tom like a year ago, maybe, but it's been awesome catching up with you guys for sure. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
No,
for
awesome.
sure, man. Hopefully we can lock horns or drink some beers sometime. If you're ever in the Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Hazleton area, man, hit us up. You need a place to crash between bookings, hit me up. We could always have a good time, and maybe we could wrestle again sometime too.
Yeah,
Thanks
dude.
for coming on.
A little training session. I'll get back in the ring, dude. We can have that one match, like a good little Broadway show, you know?
Yeah, let's go like a 15-minute little deal somewhere.
There we go.
Somewhere good, somewhere with some fans, you know?
Oh, 100%. But dude, good luck in the Super 8, man. I really do hope that you either make it far or win the whole thing, just so we can get your name out further, as each match goes.
And he can put over our podcast. We can be like, we had him here first.
Yeah. I'll grab the mic after I win. I'll be like, watch the PML show.
Yeah, do that. Definitely do that too. But real quick, just before you log off, what do you want to plug your social media again in case anybody wants to give you a follow or a like?
Yeah, sure. At the Shooter Cam on Twitter, at Killian Mcmurphy on Instagram. If you liked me talking about nerd shit, you can listen to my podcast, Arrows to the Knee, where we talk about Elder Scrolls. Watch Camp Leapfrog live this Saturday on IWTV's Facebook page. And I think that's it. Pro Wrestling Tees / Killian Mcmurphy.
There we go. Dude, you're hitting all the bases, dude. You hit all the bases.
Yeah, I got my own little link tree right up here.
There you go, baby.
Big Jesus brain.
There you go. Well, man, it was nice talking to you. Hopefully we keep in touch. And, like I said, hopefully once I have the kid, they all get back into shape and we can have a little...
Congrats!
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you. But, yeah, man, I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Peace, brother.
Peace.
What a cool guy.
Man, that was awesome. We went long, but it was fun. Like
that, and that's how it should be when we do these types of forums. Like,
yep.
We're still like, obviously that was some good content, and it's different, And I think every time we have a guest on, I think we're gonna go down different avenues. That's just not, what's your favorite Austin match? What's your, Hulk Hogan or Savage? And that's stuff you and I would talk about. But I think just kind of getting to know the person and for other people to see what they can do or where they've been and where they want to go. For me, it's not really where you've been. It's really where you want to go.
100%.
So,
I was just going to say, on top of that, like, if you do wrestling every weekend and you come to a podcast, you obviously don't want to just talk about wrestling, which is great, right? Because like it's a little bit of a refresher. You know what I mean? So like if he wants, like, as soon as we did the pre-production, he's like, "Can we not talk about wrestling the whole time?" I'm like, "Dude, I got like 2 questions for you. After that, we go wing it." And then Disney was a great topic because that's awesome. You know what I mean? So, like you said, I mean, to our general audience, you might not get, wrestling. But to us that's why you come to us, when we don't have a guest, because we'll provide that. And then we also want to make the guests feel as comfortable as possible. Either they do want to talk about wrestling or they want to take a little break from it, and we could do that as well. You know what I mean? So, like, I think, like you said, like, I think it was a great way for us to cover wrestling to the best that we can with also going with the guest. Does that make any sense? Like, I think it was a fun time. And it was also just cool catching up with him because, like, I know you talked to him. I do remember you telling me that you talked to him more recently than I did. But for me, like, personally, it was really cool catching up with Killian because he's somebody that, we were both only in the business for 12 months, 15 months, you know what I mean? But he was one of the people from day one that I really, really wanted to work with. So it was just kind of
respected too, because it was cool with him where, he was trying to make a name for himself, but he took the time out to train with us, work with us, try to make us better when, he didn't have to. So that's the people wrestlers that we have on the show, more or less are going to be guys like that who we took information from, and it's cool to see like what they've been up to. That's the biggest thing with me.
Exactly, especially like you said with Killian, like he put so much time in that I'm sure a lot of people don't know about, and we should have said this when he was on camera just so he could kind of maybe feel more appreciated, I guess. But like he's from Delaware, right? We live in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's about a 2 hour, maybe 2 hour and change ride. He would come. I mean, usually the sanctuary shows would be on a Friday, but then he would either stay until Sunday and train with us, or he would go back to Delaware, come back Sunday morning to train with us. So like either way, he was putting in time, whether it was, staying in NEPA, northeastern Pennsylvania, those 2 extra days to train with us, or he drove back home, came back to train with us. So like all that time's obviously paying off because like you mentioned before, and he mentioned, he is doing the Super 8, which historically has had a lot of great participants in it. You know what I mean? So like I'm actually like excited for him to show out in there. And that's why I told him I want him to at least go far. Because even if you don't get the victory, each match that you go longer, it's longer for you to get your face out there.
And it's more eyeballs on you for if that's AEW, TNA, WWE, NXT, wherever that is.
Exactly.
That's or even just a better indie promotion. Instead of getting paid $50 in a hot dog, maybe we'll get $100 in a slushie.
Exactly. I mean, slushie is what's better, a slushie or a hot dog, though?
Depends on the day. If it was like, so if it was a Sanctuary Sunday in the middle of July, I'm taking a slushie.
Slushie all day, of course.
But
okay, but how about a wrestling place in December? You're taking a hot dog, a nice hot hot dog.
Yeah. That or a cup of coffee if they have it.
You're right. But no, hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was really, really cool.
Refreshing. I think it's.
I completely agree. That's why, like, when we're talking Disney, I'm like, this is refreshing. Like, and this for anybody, friend, or we do want to have some friends on that are not wrestlers, but we also do want to have wrestlers on. So hopefully everybody's listening or will listen to this show. You guys control the show. Like, we're gonna be accommodating as hell. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're gonna ask you maybe 5 wrestling questions, but you're gonna be on from 35 minutes to about 45 minutes. After those 5 questions, we could talk music, we could talk sports, we could talk like we did with Killian. We could talk Disney. You know what I mean? I don't know much about Disney or movies in general. Like to know.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should have had Sam and KP on. We should have just been like, all right, here you go.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, let us go work on the house. You guys conduct this interview with Killian. But no, like this is for friends or wrestlers that want to come on our show. We're accommodating you. You know what I mean? Like you're spending your time with us. We appreciate it. We enjoy talking wrestling, of course, but I can throw that curveball out there and talk a little music or talk a little Disney. I'm sure Malloy can do the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like we just like to have fun and catch up with everybody and hear everybody's thoughts no matter what it is. We didn't talk about it on this episode, but we will next week.
Next week we'll do WrestleMania 4.
We'll do WrestleMania 4. It was the tournament that kind of sold WrestleMania that year, and it's also significant because
it was 4 hours long.
It was the first 4-hour show, so I did. I warned everybody. I said, hey, I apologize, baby. This is the 80s, and it's 4 hours. This shit is going to be slow. But anyway, it also ties in to March Madness since it's a tournament theme. That's the reason why I brought it up. March Madness is coming up this weekend on, I think Thursday is the first play-in game. So obviously next Tuesday for our show, baby pending. If the baby comes on like Monday, I might need to reschedule.
That's fine, man.
If the baby comes so today is Tuesday. So if the baby comes tomorrow, that gives me like 6 days. We're a go. We are.
Just the way my luck is in life and how everything else is, your KP's water is going to break at 7:05 next Tuesday, and you're going to be like, "Boy, I gotta go. See you. Bye." That's gonna be...
I did actually. This is actually the first episode where I have obviously I have our live feed going, but I also have the ringer on. I've been usually having it silent, but this is the first week where it's actually on, just in case there's a quick call that she couldn't make it into the room. Hey, got it. Daddy.
That'll be our best episode ever. 5 minutes. And I gotta go. The water broke. Bang. We gotta post that episode. I don't care if it's 5 minutes long. We're posting it.
100% we're posting it. Actually, I might take the camera all the way to the hospital.
Be like, yo, KP, on the you good girl. Like,
yeah, he's here, baby. PML crew, we here. But anyway, thank you, Killian, for joining our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a breath of fresh air. I know you wanted to talk about other stuff outside of wrestling, and we honestly had a blast doing it. And that's for any fans or wrestlers that want to come on our show. Hit us up. We're on social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at PML Show. If you guys want to reach out to us on Gmail, pmltalkshow@gmail.com. That pretty much sums up this episode. We came on a little late, so we apologize, Steve. Thank you for letting us carry over a little bit more. We do appreciate it a lot. Again, social media, if you guys want to reach out to us, WrestleMania season is coming, so if you guys want to toss us a couple questions, that's fine. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at PML Show. Our Gmail is pmltalkshow@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Killian, again, thank you. And everybody, enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Malloy, you doing anything?
Just working, brother.
Yeah, Steve, how about you?
Same. No, I lie. I have a 3-day weekend.
Oh my God, I would have just said that off the start and just bragged about it. That's what I would have did. But if you guys are liking what you guys are hearing, Loser Radio will continue. Facebook.com//Loser Radio. DGenX is on after us, so definitely give that a listen. Again, hope you guys enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend. Until next week, baby pendant.
Peace.
Peace.